Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing some more Stormworks Build and Rescue. So what I wanted to do was, in the past I've done like the radar Lua tutorials, and I was always having troubles finding the scale. How do I scale it? Well, I think the final part of all of that, there is actually a function here which lets us convert the world XY to pixel XY, and for pixel XY to world XY. So that's the way that we're going to be scaling it. So this is going to kind of be like a multi-part series within the classic Career Again series, where we're going to build a map which allows us to, we'll click on the map, and that's going to give us an XY and an XY and an XY. It's going to connect together. We're going to be able to plot a route, and that's going to give us our pixels and our world XY. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into a radar system. So finally, we'll be able to track individual objects on the radar, and we'll have an XY for them in the real world, all that sort of stuff. So I'll finally be able to, instead of each gun having its own radar, I'll finally be able to build like an Aegis system that I've been wanting to build, where everything is combined, and yeah, it'll be good. So anyway, so this is the start of that. So the first thing we need to do is I have a screen here, it's a 3x3 screen. I'll just update it. This is what I have here. I have our monitor, okay. I have our GPS. I have a button which we're going to use. I have another button to turn on the screen, and then I have our microcontroller. All right. The composite from the monitor goes into the microcontroller. Obviously, the video from the microcontroller goes back out to the monitor, and then I just have some inputs. An input for this button, an output for the light. And that's, and then a rotation from the keypad and whatever, and the XY from the GPS. Yeah, so it's just a basic setup, right? These are the things that we want. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to put the code in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to turn the screen into a touch screen. Well, how do we do that? Well, we need this code here. We actually need all this code here, this on tick. Okay. So what I've done here is I've created two variables. This is the width of the screen, and this is the height of the screen. Okay, so then we paste the code in. What does the code do? Well, the code says if I press on the screen anywhere in the X and Y, it's going to give me a number value for the X and a number value for the Y. And then it's also going to give me an on. Hey, he's pressed it. That's an on value. Then it gives me this second function here. Well, what is this? Well, this is the output. So we're going to actually change that to T1. So just so it's like touch 1. And then that's going to be touch 1. So we set the output value, channel 1, and it's going to be if this is true. So then what we need to do is we need to define the rectangle that's true, and we're going to start it at 1, 1. So XY is going to start here. And it's going to be 94 every time. 94 by 94. All right, so it's going to be slightly smaller than the actual screen, maybe because I want to put a border or something like that on there. Okay. And then this last part of the function basically says is the is point in rectangle. That's this here. So it's basically it returns true value if this is the rectangle here, and this is the XY here. So if this is true, if it's getting a number here and here, then it means this is true, and this is just the function that it is. That's all, right? Return X, whatever, return Y is greater than, return X, return Y, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it's going to do. But we don't have to worry about that. That's, thankfully, they've done that for us. That's the simple part, all right? So what? Okay, so now we need to make sure that this is accurate and that this is ready to go. So what we need to do now is we need to take the output composite, channel 1, okay, and that's what I've done, and I've run that into the light. So what should happen here is I should click on the television after turning it on. So this turns on the television. I should click on it and the light turns on. See, so anywhere inside the TV I click, television turns on. So now it's a touch screen. Alright, so now what we need to do is within that touch screen, we want to have the on draw, but I want the map. I want to draw the map. So we need the on draw function. Alright, that's down here. After after it's read, it reads and then writes. It reads and then writes. It's the easiest way to think about this. I wanted to draw the map here. Alright. And the X and the Y. Okay, so then we need to end this. Alright, so now we need the X and the Y and the zoom. So we need 3 more number inputs. So we need to go, let's see, we need to say X, Y, zoom. Alright, and that's going to be, basically, the way to look at it is the first 4 number channels are for the TV, right? Channel 3 and 4 are being used by the TV. So this is going to be channel 1 and 2, and this will have to be channel 5. So this will have to be channel 1, and this will have to be channel 2, and this is going to have to be channel 5. That's the easiest way to sort that out, or you can just start, say, number 5, 6, and 7 if you wanted to, and just have the first 1 to 4 in there, whatever. But just remember that those 2 channels. So now what we need is we need a composite read number, no, write number, and it needs to have at least 5 channels, right? And then we need the X is channel 1, Y is channel 2, and then our rotation, or our zoom, sorry, is going to be input number 5. But we also need another input, which is going to be our route input. So we're going to run our number into here, and then we have our touch screen. So our touch screen into the numbers, we're just bridging it through. So now let's make sure I've connected the GPS there, and that let's make sure it's going to draw the map. And it's still going to function as a touch screen. So we'll turn it on. Our zoom, we can turn that to like 2. There we are. It doesn't function as a touch screen, but it's drawing the map. So now we have to say, okay, now why is that? Maybe it needs to draw the map in a separate Lua. And then we need to run that into the touch screen. That could be it, or we could take this and we could put this part of the map. Oh, that's not going to work because then we need this to be defined up here. That might work. Input function outside of tick. Yeah, see, that's not going to work. We're going to have this down here. And then these are going to have to be inside here. Right? Because it has to read them every function. And then it writes them every function. So perhaps the on draw function in here, perhaps. Let's see if that'll work. The thing that it reads from the top of the script to the bottom. So if there's an error in any of the code, it'll stop reading. Yeah. Attempting to use input function outside of the tick. What input function is that? Probably that. Probably that. Probably that. Ooh, there's lightning outside. Yeah. See, that's what it is. That's what it is. So what we have to do is we're going to have to take a separate rule block. And this is what I thought we were going to have to do. When it comes to the radar, we're going to need a bunch of these as well. So, and then what I do is I'll just take this here. We'll just cut that. And then we'll just paste it in here. Just like that. And then I can say the X, Y, and zoom can come into there. Oops, and then that is a problem. Oh, I can have the video come through there actually. Can we do that? Yeah, and then what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a couple of more outputs. Okay, so that's how we're going to have to do that. So this is for the map, and then this, right? And then that way we say we need an on-tick function, and we actually need to read X, Y, and zoom. And then this equals input dot get number, and this will be 1, right? Then this will be number 2, and then this will be number 5. I think is how we did that. So just like that, and then that way this is where we'll have to edit the map, put the map stuff in there, and then let's see if that's going to come through here. Let's see what that does. It's still pretty much the same, but we'll be having to bridge between one Lua script and the other. Okay, so I can turn that to like 2, and then it's it doesn't want to. Oh, interesting. I wonder why that is. Is that why it didn't work before? Let's see. Input get rule 1 is pressed. Oh, that's that. Route A. Oh, I see. So it worked from there, but it didn't work from... Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Is pressed should be input.get bool 1. But instead, it read it. It read the input from... So you see the problem that I'm having? This has to be connected directly to the touch screen. So then when it comes, oh, I wonder, that's okay. So then if I want to have a route, I wonder how that's going to work. It'll have to be another Lua script. So this is just going to handle the touch screen. That's it. So when you press it, it gives us an output. And then from there, we take that output and we do something with it. I think that's all we're going to be able to do with this script, unfortunately. Yeah, see? Now I've got the map. It's superimposed, and I have the touch screen. Okay, which is giving me this output signal. So then what we need to do, so now we have a touch screen and now we have a map. The next thing we need to do is figure out where on the touch screen. So we can do some more printing here then. All right, so let's figure this out. So then I want convert pixel coordinates into world coordinates. So we can say map.screen to map world XY. Where do we get our world XY? That must be from our GPS. We map.screen to map. Convert pixel coordinates into world coordinates. Convert world coordinates into pixel coordinates. So pixel XY equals map XY. Zoom. And then the screen and the world XY. All right, it scales it. And then pixel coordinates to world coordinates. So if we click on the screen and then we want to get an XY on the world from where we clicked, we have to use this here. So what is it that we're trying to do? So when you click in there, we want to get our world XY. So this will be on the on draw part of it. Because we can still get the map XY and the zoom. We have the screen width, and then the pixel XY is going to be the input X and input Y. Is that right? Pixel coordinates into world coordinates. Yes, that's right. This is where we touched. So this is going to be input X, and this is going to be input Y, just like that. So now we need the on draw. We need the function on draw. Okay, and then we need to say if T1, then world X, Y, world X and world Y equals map. So now what do we want to do? Then we want to say output, let's see, set number. Those could be our X and our Y. Output channel 1, output channel 2. And we also want to draw a circle. Where are we here? Draw circle, XY radius. All right, and then we also want to draw a circle at input X and input Y, and then our radius, let's make that 1, and then we could say end, line 17, where is that? Right there. Perfect. Now what we need are colors. Oops, well, I don't know why I'll tab there. Right, screen dot set color RGB. So for this, I don't know. Let's color codes. Let's make it. I just need a color for now. Olive. There we go. Let's make it olive. All right, so it should do that, I think. first off, we'll see if it prints. If it prints the... Look, it does. Look. Look at that. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need a couple of displays. And we need to read those numbers. The X and the Y values. Can we do that? No, let's do it with dials. Just, I can get larger numbers with the dials. Alright, and then our output from that was channel 1 and channel 2. So now we need to get a composite read number. Alright, and it's going to read channel 1, channel 2, and that's XY, and now we need to have a number, and this is going to be output X, and this will be number, and this will be output, and this will be our Y. Okay, and then if we connect that, X and Y, update that, just save it real quickly. Alright, that turns that on. I guess we need to save that number. I guess we need to save. Let's see. Let me see how this is outputting it here. Output set number 1. Output set number 2. But what is it setting it? Can I give it the value? I guess it would have to be, I should say, world X. World X equals, and then world Y equals, there we go. And then if I take the memory registers, right? Let's see, I'll need 2 of these. And this is a push button here. So if I tell it to set the memory and I tell it to remember this number and output it, then I'll be able to check it for accuracy. There we go. Just like that. And that's how we save, that's how we're going to save the XY. I could do it internally by creating a folder, which I might actually do. I might just create 2 tables, a table for X and a table for Y inside the script. Alright, so that didn't give us any printed, but it didn't give us an outputted XY. Now why is that? Why is that? So let's see here. Convert pixel coordinates into world coordinates. So world X and world Y equals map.screen to map. So I wonder, so it's drawing that. But how do we get that? How do we interpret that screen to map? Pixel coordinates into world coordinates. Yeah, and then we should output, or should I just print what the coordinates are? I guess it's the same thing. Output.set number 1, output.set number 2. If T1. So this is our T1. This is channel 1. Oh, this is channel 2. Okay, maybe that's the case. Alright, and then it should set it. Reset value, and then the stored channel. This is Y, channel 2, and channel 1 is X. I wonder if that's because it's not actually drawing the map. It's drawing this on the screen because we're giving the XY from here, but maybe because I'm not drawing the map, I can't get the screen to map. Because we're not drawing it centered to us, so it would make sense that we would have screen.drawMap XY and zoom. So we need to get the world X and Y, right, which we need the map XY. So I need this here. I need map X, map Y. This comes in from the GPS. And then we need the zoom. Right, and then we have this screen W, and then we have screen H. I'm just copying what they have there, and then we'll just that way we'll just use their variables. It'll be the easiest instead of changing them like I did here. It'll be easiest this way, right? Because I have them defined up here. There we go. And this is where we need the input get number. That's right. And this is number 1. This is number 2, and this is number 5. And this can be W, and this can be H. That takes care of all of our variables. Now we need these inputs here to come into, to be read into this Lua script here. So I wonder how I'm going to be able to do that if I have to come in. Oh, you know what I can do? I can actually take another, well, it's the same. It's the same. This is the problem. Oh, maybe I have to do that. Read it and then write it. No. No, no. We need to have start channel. And then we have 5 channels. So it's just like that one there, but I don't understand. It's not going to work because we already tried this. It didn't work. Maybe it'll work this time. I don't know. I should run this into there and then that into there. Oh well, it's confusing, but to me that's. I already tried this and it didn't work. So, but anyways, let's see if it's gonna work. Maybe I just needed the rest of those variables, and that's why. All right. Oh, look, it works. Oh wow. Okay, but it didn't give us our X and Y. All right. So why is that? Oh, you know why? Because I don't have those connected, X and Y. There we go. That will explain a lot. It's good though, because it makes I double check and triple check and double check. Yeah. All right. So then let's just take this and let's just put it in here. Let's just do that. more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, look at that. So now, what's it not reading here? X and Y. And channel 5. I don't think it was this that was the problem. I think it was actually the GPS that was the problem. Y and X. Let's see, Y goes into Y. And the zoom. Something was going on there. Did you see it was a different base? Oh, you know why? Because this is supposed to be map X. Map Y. And zoom. There we go. This helps if you get the variables right. Alright. There we go, but it's still not giving me the GPS. Let's figure that out. It should be giving me this number. Channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 1, channel 2. So we have the map. We have the screen. We have the input. We have world. Yeah, and then we set, this is working. I'm glad this is working here. But this doesn't seem to be output set number 1. And output set number 2. If T1. Yeah. See, I'm wondering if where this function needs to go. Does it need to go up here in the on tick? Screen to that? Or does it need to be down here? But it should still output, a number. I don't understand what it is. Right, it comes out of here. Read channel 1, read channel 2. Comes into the number to store. Goes out to X, goes out to Y. They don't have electricity, I don't think that's an issue. So X goes out to Y. Yeah. So strange. So it should be reading that. But I wonder if it goes back to, let me get rid of the memory register. And let me see, maybe that's the problem. Let me just see if I can get a direct number out of here. Let's try that. It is receiving an on signal. Is receiving an on signal. Well, I don't understand how function. Let's see. Convert pixel coordinates into world coordinates. I wonder if I need to do if I need the pixel XY. Looks like it, because convert world coordinates into pixel coordinates. And I'm just saying convert pixel coordinates into world coordinates. So the map X, Y, and zoom, that makes sense. That comes from the GPS. That centers the map on the GPS. And then we have the screen width and height, which is the screen width and height. And then we just need the pixel XY. So here it's saying the pixel XY is centered around the world XY, and it's saying the world XY is centered around the pixel XY, so it doesn't matter. So that's why this input X and Y is where we touch on the screen. Is that right? That should be right. Yeah. And then it should convert where we touch on the screen into world coordinates. But does this need to be, you know, does this need to be like here maybe? In order for it to function? Does it need to be down here? Whoa! Huh. Maybe it'll print those onto the screen? But I don't know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't know why it's not setting the output here. If T1, then world X equals output, that's set number 1. World Y should be output set number 2. Or should we have it draw a map that's world X and world Y instead of these two here? No, that doesn't make any sense. All I'm trying to do is get those coordinates here. World X and world Y. One, two, three, four, five, and then it should be an output dot set. 1, T1. Maybe I'm not setting the number right. Output set number, index, and the value. Oh, maybe that's why. Gotcha. But it's the same. Whether I write it this way or whether I write it this way. This is how they're telling me to write it. Yeah, so I guess I'll be at this for the next little bit. This is kind of the final part here. Oh, there we go. Attempt to use output function. Ah, so maybe it was in the wrong part of the... That's what I was thinking. Maybe this here. Needs to be... needs to be somewhere. Either it's in the, it operates in the on draw, or it operates in the on tick. Attempt using output function outside. So it wasn't giving me that error before. So it needs to be down here. After the draw map. Now it was part of the T1 function. So that's probably where it needs to stay. It's there. Oh, took use output function. Uh-oh. Now I've broken it. Oh, this here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's giving me an error here. It's saying I can't set these numbers here. Oh, I see. This is going to have to be down here. There we go. Yes, 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 yes. Because you have the draw comes after the input and then the output. But I had the draw anyways, yeah. Okay, so that worked, but it's still not giving me the output. Is it drawing anymore? No, it's not drawing either. Interesting. Okay, so it's not doing anything now. Okay, so now what it's doing is it's T1. Yeah, now we're back to that problem here that we had before. It's drawing this over top of this. Over top of this. So I wonder if this function here can go. Oh, probably not. Probably not. Oh, you know what? You know what? Yeah, we can do that. I can stay there. What I can do is in the on draw. What I'll have to do is I'll have to say if T1 then in here. I'll have to do this. See if that's going to work. We have to separate it because part of the function is outputting numbers and part of the function is drawing on the screen. So now all I'm trying to do is separate the drawing on the screen from the numbers. And I seem to have done that. So now I can draw on the screen, but it's still not giving me the you know what I mean? The pixel coordinates for that high. I just don't know why I can't read that. The output. Why can't I set the output on that? It's giving me the GPU GPS X and Y, and then I have the zoom, and then I have the screen, and then I have where output.set number 1, output.set number 2. Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back, so I was just struggling a little bit there to get, I'm going to splice this together, I was just struggling a little bit there to get this working, and I figured out what I needed to do. Basically this world XY, this function needs to be part of the onTick function, and then you can just draw it down here. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm converting the world XY. So I'll just let me just choose a different color here. Let me choose a better color, like orange, and it's going to make a little more sense. So what I've done now, alright, we'll update that. Let me save this. Alright, so now what it'll do is, when you click on it, it gives you the XY of where you click. Alright? So that's very, very, very important. Now it wasn't doing that. Earlier. I wasn't able to output those values, and I think the reason why I wasn't able to output those values is because I didn't have this function in the right place. I had it down here. So now that I have it here, I can say output. Let's see, output dot set number. Not numbered, number. Alright. And where channel 1 is X and channel 2 is Y. And this is going to be world X. And this is going to be world Y. And that should be that. I'm going to save this. And now when we click on it, it should also, look at that, it gives us our coordinates. Now what I can do is, I can do one of two things. Now we're going to kind of expand. I guess this is going to do it for part 1. Now I can run it through the memory register. And here, we'll just do this. Do this, update it, and then now what I can do, oh, I exited by accident, why? Oh, you're an idiot. Alright, let me double check that. Yeah, okay, so that's what now I can run it through the memory register. So now we're going to sort of get into something. We're going to get into part 2 here of this. Yeah, there we go. And then it should save. See, it saves that output. 1784, 2637. There. See, it's changing every time. So now what we want to do is we want to be able to save that, and we also want to be able to print it and have it saved on the screen. Like now we want to be able to print our route, and this is where this input, route A, route B, route C, is gonna come into play. But that's gonna be in part 2. So thank you so much for watching part 1, and I will see you all in part 2.